Welcome to Newslaundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. Newslaundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a Newslaundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. I am your host this week because Abhinandan Sekhri is in Bangalore. You all know that we have a very special subscribers meet lined up on Saturday at 6 p.m. The details of which you can get from our subscription team. I'm going to be there too. And Abhinandan is already there, so therefore I'm going to be hosting NL Hafta. It's been a week of some depressing and disturbing news, but we'll try and not make it very disturbing and distressing for you. We have an in-house panel with us. Shardool, hello.
Hello.
Raman, Kirpal, hello.
Hi.
Joining us from Dehradun is Hemant, Gairola. Hi, Hemant.
Hello to all of you.
Hemant is an independent journalist and associate member of Reporters Collective. He's written a very, very good reported piece on everything that's been happening in Uttarkashi. So I highly recommend you read it. We'll leave the link for you in the show notes. Hemant has served as co-founder of 101 Reporters, which is a pan-India network of grassroots reporters, and has headed the city desk at DNA in Bangalore. So did your time cross? Did you cross paths, Raman sir and Hemant? Because Raman sir was also with DNA.
Hemant, I don't remember Hemant.
Yeah, I was in Bangalore only, so I don't remember having interaction with Raman sir.
But
since I was on city desk, people in nation desk, might have coordinated with
I was in
offices.
Bombay. I was in Bombay also for quite a long time. But I know everybody in Bombay.
I was supposed to come to Bombay for the redesign of DNA. Okay. Initially, I was also supposed to come, but then they decided that I should stay back because someone should anchor the redesign in Bangalore office. So that's how perhaps we missed each other.
Okay, so I'm going to get into the headlines, but before that, I have a special announcement for you. First, of course, we had a Hafta letters poll last week, and we have the response for that. Basically, we wanted to ask you guys what we should do with the many, many letters that we are getting each week. Should we dedicate a special program to it? Or should we include it in our usual Hafta? Or should we select what letters we're going to read? So we got the response to the poll, and we got a total of 77 responses, out of which 43 responses voted in favor of reading 6 selected letters on Hafta per week. So the majority has spoken. We have to choose 6 letters each week and read from it. But I'm going to be kind this week and I will read all the letters that we've got because I'm nice.
What did the rest say?
I think about 20% said that they wanted it to be all the letters read every week. So like what we've been doing quickly. And only 12% people responded saying that they want a special episode for Hafta. So clearly that special episode is not a hit.
It doesn't sound nice because what happens is it's an ongoing conversation between subscribers and the panel, right?
Yeah.
Like doing it once a month makes it too delayed.
It gets too delayed.
Most of the times people forget what we said.
Yeah, actually the context is a bit of a problem. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to read 6 selected letters on Hafta per week. I shall be very nice to everyone who's written to us this week and read all the letters. But from next week, we're going to choose 6 letters. We also have a Press Freedom Fund up. We launched this in the month of May to celebrate the Press Freedom Month. This is an NL Sena project that will include deep dive reports and commentaries and videos on press freedom, the health of the media ecosystem, and pressures faced by civil society and media in India. So far, we've been able to raise 16 lakh. Our target is of 30 lakh. So please step up, contribute to this project. I am promising you that this is going to be worth your time and your money and worth your subscription to Newslaundry and your support to Newslaundry, because in the run-up to 2024, I think the health of the media is a very important story, and we aim to tell that very meticulously in a very detailed fashion. So please support this project. Check out newslaundry.com/NLSena/Press Freedom Fund and contribute. Onwards to the headlines of this week. In a major data breach, personal data of those who registered on the CoWIN portal to get their coronavirus vaccines has allegedly been leaked on messaging platform Telegram. The Congress on Monday sought a judicial investigation into the centre's data management apparatus. Meanwhile, the Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar said that CoWIN app does not appear to be directly breached. So this was a really crazy story, and we'll get into the details of this because we're going to be joined by someone who has reported on this. The story was broken by a Malayalam news portal, The Fourth, and we're going to have someone from The Fourth join us.
But this is a crazy story, and like a funny thing, the leak is not alleged, but this is not sure that if the CoWIN database itself wasn't breached. So I want to pat my own back. When we were registering on this, I think there was one other person, I believe Meghnad, but he eventually registered. I didn't download this app ever because the government of India in data security is never to be trusted. You should use websites, it's harder, but you should use them.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like the argument which at that time Law Minister gave, Ravi Shankar Prasad, that we have 5 feet thick walls. 5 feet thick walls don't do anything. They do jack shit to save data, like protect data. You need like encryptions and you need people who understand these things.
The government still insists that it was stolen earlier.
Yeah.
But that stolen earlier was never reported. So they are saying it now.
And there have been multiple leaks. So which earlier?
If you read all the newspaper reports and even the edits that were written on that, even the newspapers have pointed this out, and all of them more or less convinced that this bot brought out the entire thing.
Now, Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey on Monday said that the Indian authorities threatened to shut the microblogging platform in the country if it did not act against dissenting voices and journalists during the farmers' protest. A day after Dorsey's claim, the opposition leader said his comments showed how democracy was being strangulated in India. In fact, even Dorsey, while he was, having this conversation on a YouTube channel called Breaking Points, he said that, he kind of commented that this is a so-called democracy where this happened, where we were told that we'd be raided, we'd be shut down. Of course, the government of India again has come down heavily on Dorsey. All the news channels also on Tuesday were running this Dorsey is lying and Dorsey's, has some anti-India motive, and also that somehow Rahul Gandhi went to US and he told Dorsey this, and now it's a huge conspiracy against Modi. So that happened. Some very disturbing news over the past 10 days we've been hearing from Uttarakhand's Uttarkashi district. We have Hemant who's going to obviously talk to us about this in detail, but just briefly for our audience, there was an incident where a 14-year-old girl, there was a case where a Hindu man and a Muslim man were accused of abducting her. Both of them were arrested, but soon after this case, there was a lot of rumor mongering and a lot of campaign about love jihad and how this is case of love jihad. It was conveniently forgotten that one of the accused was a Hindu. Turned into a love jihad conspiracy. There were posters put out in front of shops of Muslim owners, calling them jihadis, saying that they must leave the town. As things stand now, a lot of the Muslim shopkeepers have left. In fact, our reporter who's there currently in Uttarkashi says that all of them have left. All Muslim shopkeepers, about 30 to 40 in this town, have left. On June 18, Muslim leaders in Dehradun are going to have a Mahapanchayat protesting this. Hindutva groups were supposed to be protesting today, but Hemant, they haven't been given police sanctions, right? Because they were supposed to be...
That is right. Yeah, permission has been denied to them, and they have said that they have finally relented. Until yesterday, they were saying that we will go ahead. But today's news report says that they have finally relented, as for now.
And on June 18th, protest by Muslim leaders is on point, right? For that, they have the permissions.
The Muslim leaders have called for the protest, rather for their own Mahapanchayat. But the thing is, this call came only a couple of days ago, 2-3 days ago, and yesterday's newspaper quoted Dehradun SSP saying that National Security Act will be slapped against those who try to disrupt communal harmony in Dehradun. So the threat of NSA is a big one. So I doubt if this Mahapanchayat in Dehradun by Muslims will also proceed. That remains to be seen.
Brij Bhushan Saran Singh said on Sunday that he will contest the Lok Sabha elections in 2024 from his constituency of Kaisarganj in Uttar Pradesh. The charge sheet in this case is supposed to be filed today?
Yeah, by today. I mean, what the talks they had with Anurag Thakur, the charge sheets are supposed to be filed by June 15th, and this is why the protests were, withdrawn till today. If it's not done today, then I assume they'll go back on the protest tomorrow.
And we also have to see what the charge sheet is, how strongly they've built the case.
Yeah.
That's something to be read and seen. At least 70,000 people were evacuated from 8 coastal districts of Gujarat as Cyclone Biparjoy approached the state and neighbouring southern Pakistan. We also have this beautifully viral clip that's doing the rounds this morning of a Republic Bharat anchor who's swaying in her studio because of cycloning winds. So
this
that
reminds me, of my old days, in TV, Aastak and even NDTV. NDTV used to do less. But this gimmickry and these kind of acts really put me off. I could never show any interest in TV journalism after that.
This is supreme level cringe, sir. This is shameless.
They made me,
I can't watch it. How can they do it?
Send JB, if there is lot of cold, then the GB van goes to the bloody park where some guys are, braving the cold and आपको कैसा लग रहा है और वो ताली वाली मारते थे. बस वो दिखाओ. Visuals are horrible.
I love this one journalist Manjeet Thakur who tweeted the clip saying, देश में कुछ भी गंभीर हो तो टीवी चैनल बहुत मनोरंजक हो जाता है. That was so accurate.
She was
Actually कुछ गंभीर होता है तो हम देखते हैं टीवी देखते हैं कुछ कॉमेडी चल रही होगी. The centre on Saturday formed a peace committee in Manipur to facilitate a truce among various ethnic groups and violence at northeastern state. However, we've had some very disturbing news again surface yesterday. There's been fresh violence in the state. 9 people have been killed and 10 injured on Tuesday night. So there seems to be nothing seems to be working there right now because violence continues and
Methi and Cookies they have already conveyed that they are not going to be the part of this peace committee.
The Cookies?
No, both.
Both.
But the violence seems to be unending.
So if they are not participating in that committee, then and in fact I have got as editor letters to the editor. I've got a couple of letters where both the communities are asking for, especially the Methis. I think they are asking for the army rule. The army rule should be imposed because now the people from outside countries they have come and they have taken over the militant part of it.
You're talking about the Myanmar thing.
Right.
Yeah.
There is the Kuki Chin tribe also across the border in Myanmar and there is militant groups active there and there is suspicion that some of the violence is being committed by these militant groups that have crossed over the border.
So they want military rule as early as possible.
Delhi CM Kejriwal has said that with the new ordinance, the Prime Minister of the country is the new Chief Minister of Delhi. So, Delhi versus
He is very right.
No, but
he is not able to do they won't be able to do anything.
So we were discussing it just a while ago. Like FCI has stopped giving rice to states.
Food Corporation of India.
Yeah, Food Corporation of India. Sorry, I forget that other people may not know. But this is wrong. This is wrong on so many levels. Forget about the politics and most of the headlines say that, I don't remember the name, but the schemes of Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah would get hit. But states need to take care of the children, their citizens, law and order, food, education. These are state subjects.
All these indicate that
India
is a case of crippled democracy right now. Nothing. Look at this ordinance. Look at, if somebody is trying to provide subsidized food, the center is able to give it in UP, but Karnataka cannot give it because FCI and the alibi that has been taken is that there may be a deficit monsoon, so we need to keep the stores.
Deficit in monsoon, that's what I'm trying to say, sir. This is such a harebrained thing that anybody can see that you're trying to stifle other people. Deficit in monsoon is a prediction. It's a meteorological prediction. It may come true, it may not. Chances are it won't. Generally, Mausam Vibhag is not correct all the time. And Karnataka has a population equivalent to France. What are we doing here?
And the scheme here is basically the Karnataka scheme called Anna Bhagya, under which 10 kg of food grain will be given to every member of below poverty line household. So this is BPL households that you're giving 10 kg of food grains to. And with this decision of the centre, Karnataka government effectively will not be able to fulfill its manifesto promise, which is what the BJP want to go to town with. That look, they promised you free food grain, but they couldn't. So you vote in Modi so that you can get food.
Let me just visualize one thing. What is going to happen now? Karnataka may go to the court, just like Delhi government has gone to the court, on several such issues. So Karnataka government will go to the court. Center will bring in their own. So you have people like Singhvi, the highly rated lawyers who take very hefty fee. And where this fee is coming from? The taxpayers. So Delhi government is spending the taxpayer money. Central government is also paying the taxpayer money to these lawyers. And these lawyers are the main beneficiary out of this.
Tushar Mehta.
The Law Commission on Wednesday sought the views of citizens and recognized religious organizations on the question of whether a uniform civil code should be implemented. After an 18-hour interrogation and multiple searches across different parts of Chennai and Tamil Nadu, DMK Minister V. Senthil Balaji was arrested in the early hours of Wednesday in connection with an alleged money laundering case related to job racket. And this case is how old?
It began in 2016, I think.
Yeah.
At that time, Senthil Balaji was a transport minister in AIADMK government. In fact,
which is an ally of the BJP.
We're not sure.
2011-16.
At that time they were, but right now we're not sure. Because
Right now one doesn't know. China has asked the last Indian reporter in Beijing from news agency PTI to leave. That's what the Bloomberg reported. 4 reporters from Indian media outlets were based in China earlier this year. So we have no Indian reporter there. And I'm guessing we have no Chinese reporter in India.
Yeah,
we don't.
China, we have also refused to renew sort of their visa or permit, whatever it is.
Chalo, 2 big Asian economies cannot report on each other now, which is great.
Yeah. Our relations are continuously and progressively souring with China.
Meanwhile, we have some good projections on the GDP. We're set to reach 7.3% mark in 2023. This estimate may be revised. But nevertheless, it's good. It means that we are bouncing back after the pandemic. Meanwhile, about 6,500 Indian high net worth individuals are expected to move out of the country in 2023. Former United States President Donald Trump on Tuesday pleaded not guilty to 37 charges pertaining to accusation that he mishandled classified documents. Why are you laughing?
Yes.
Because
Trump is a buffoon who, this is a charge where you, unless you will it, you cannot be convicted on. This is such a difficult thing, espionage and document thing. If you read the law, he was asked again and again to return the document. He said, I did, but didn't. And the documents were in Mar-a-Lago toilet, bathroom and on stage, and there were multiple spies. There were so many reports that everybody's sending their spies to Mar-a-Lago. One Chinese spy was caught. And he lies and lies. He on record asks his lawyer, why are you taking down notes? And what if these documents disappear? He's such a buffoon, but an insidious buffoon. You wish that thankfully he's such an idiot. Otherwise, it will be hard to displace him.
But this idiot may become the next president again.
Right now, everybody, his own Attorney General William Barr has said, Trump is toast. Literally, he said on Fox News. But these are serious charges.
You asked who has been amplifying it. Uttarakhand's chief minister himself. It has been a few weeks, I guess, since April. He has been going on and on and on about land jihad, land jihad, land jihad. For those who don't know, land jihad is the term, or rather the conspiracy theory that these people have come up with. It says that the Muslims have been trying to encroach upon government land and claim it as their own by setting up these tombs or mazar. Another term that they call it, that they have been using it is, they have been using here is mazar jihad.
Mazar jihad.
So the chief minister himself, not just the chief minister, a few days ago, the Director General of Police of Uttarakhand, Ashok Kumar, he also used the word love jihad with regards to Purola incident. And mind you, we asked police in Purola who are investigating this case, we asked them, have you found any angle or any intention that the motive behind this elopement or alleged abduction bid was to convert the girl to Islam? Was there any larger conspiracy, or was this just a case of a couple of young people having an affair? And the police categorically said that we are still investigating, and as of now, we don't know anything about the motive of the case. So the investigating authority has no information about the motive. But politicians in this state, my God, they know as a matter of fact that it is love jihad. And I use no in single quotes. The DGP says love jihad. You ask who has been amplifying it. Media. Just go to Google and search Love Jihad, Uttarakhand. You'll see a ton of media reports. Every time a Muslim youth is caught with a Hindu girl, the headline automatically reads the next day, Love Jihad in Uttarakhand, Love Jihad Haridwar, Love Jihad Uttarkashi, another case of Love Jihad. So this is, you can very well say that this is a case of trial by media. So basically anybody and everybody is amplifying it. Stereotyping, many people told us these people are into drugs. Otherwise, how can they afford to pay rent that is higher than the rent that our local people pay? Okay, so you have a theory, I understand, a valid question, but one thing that we are taught in journalism, one of the first things that we are taught in journalism is never assume. It makes an ass out of you and me. But the same thing is happening here. These people are assuming that, they are able to afford these shops, they're paying higher than normal rent, so there must be something wrong. The former president of BJP's Uttarkashi district unit, Mr. Amit Chand Shah, he said this thing to us on camera. I have shared its video on my Twitter in a thread yesterday. And he said that if not for the drug trade, if not for some other dubious funding, and if they're not being funded for some other illicit activities, how else are they able to afford more, these rents? Okay, you have a question, but you try to find answer to that question. Don't assume that your conspiracy theory is the one and only explanation for it. And he's not the only one. Yesterday, I saw a 45-minute long video story on Parola by a Dehradun-based digital media outlet called The Pamphlet. So in that video, you could see the president of Parola Traders Association saying the same thing, that these people are into smack, heroin, opium, this, that. And, I asked these people, so is this just a theory that you have, or is this a fact? Is this a well-established fact? And they told me that, yeah, you can ask the local police station. And I did go and ask at the local police station, and the police clearly said that, see, there is a problem of drugs use in this area, but this is not a Muslim-specific problem. We have arrested quite a few people. Some of them are indeed Muslims, but far more people who have been arrested for drugs, they are the local people. So, so these people, what they are doing, some Muslims have been arrested, but they are taking this piece of information, they are extrapolating it, exaggerating it, and they are, peddling a narrative. Oh, Muslims, they are into drugs. Oh, Muslims, they are the ones responsible for the rising crime rate. So, so the incident where this boy was caught with a girl, that is not the only thing. Anger had been simmering for quite a long time over these things.
In 2015-16, when I wanted to construct my house, so I saw lots of unemployment, first of all, in the hill areas. Primarily because of geographical reasons. They are at those heights, you hardly have any jobs. You just have the shops and the people, hovering around shop and whatever they can get the jobs, or massive unemployment in the hills. And second, when I wanted to construct my house, I wanted to construct, say, with one guy who I really liked his work, so I wanted to work with him. But he also refused. So people are not very forthcoming, when the big projects come, when a house construction comes, they take a lot of time. So at that time, I saw that Muslims from the neighboring areas, let's say, I am talking of this area near, Nainital district. So you have Bareilly, people from Bareilly, Rampur, where you have two villages called Tanda and Swar. So people, these are Muslim-dominated areas. So people from here, these people are coming in search of job. So they have gradually taken over all the jobs in that area. Not because they are good, but they're very hardworking. And
they're willing to do jobs that locals are not doing.
Doing. Plumbing and all. If you go to a local for plumbing and all, so they just try to fleece you because you have come from outside. So, but these people, they do it at unreasonable prices. So this is how I saw these people are coming in. Like my entire house is constructed by Muslims. Okay. So now I saw this my carpenter is a Muslim. Everybody, so all these people have come from these areas. So I keep talking to them. And there's a barber in the shop, in the market called Bhatelia. So he's also Muslim. So then I also saw at the same time, around that area, the unemployment, as I said, these guys are unemployed. They are either, kind of cleaner, with some taxiwala, or with some buswala. So gradually I saw these
alcoholism also.
Alcoholism also. So I gradually saw these people started wearing that saffron gamcha, and then they made a Bajrang Dal. They are largely the part of the Bajrang Dal. And I saw the massive increase in them. And then I also saw some concerted effort to counter the Muslims over there.
So yes, this prevailing sentiment is there that quote unquote these people are coming. And to me, it seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I have grown up with these rumors. Like, when I was a kid, I used to listen. I was instructed, like, you go to a Hindu shop, not a Muslim's. I have always had my own mind, so I went to the one who was cheaper and I could, pocket some money. But that's a different thing. But, Uttarkashi has many things, like Hemant said, this Darshan Bharti. And Darshan Bharti is not alone. You can easily check his timeline. You'll find him with Narsinganand. You'll find him with your usual suspects.
All the hate mongers, all the hate speech givers.
And this is a concerted effort. One point people need to remember is, once you move out of sort of tourist places, or not even tourist places, the big cities, one or two, like Dehradun, Haldwani, if you move out of them, Uttarakhand is a relatively conservative state. And quite conservative if you compare it even to UP. Like, people forget, but you should remember in this context that
it's part of UP.
Tarun Vijay was also attacked. He's a famous name in BJP when he talked about, that higher caste, that when he talked about caste differences and entering of people who are considered lower caste, I don't, but considered lower caste in temples and places of worship, he was attacked in Garhwal. So it's a quite conservative state. And now what's happening is, if the ratio of population is growing, so people who participate in crimes would grow. And we have been talking about, at least like almost every news organization or everybody who even understands Uttarakhand even a bit has been talking about emptying of villages.
But it has been given a case of abduction. But again, as of now, these are all unconfirmed theories. He said, she said. So we wanted to establish what the truth is. We could not. But again, this is a very important aspect that people should know, that, because every time such a case comes in Dehradun or around in Uttarakhand, newspapers are very quick to call it a case of love jihad. But we don't know for sure what the reality is, what the facts of the case are.
Because if the girl was being abducted, I'm guessing there would be some noise, something, her asking for help, that kind of a thing. So that's
exactly.
So I don't know.
And this is exactly what local people are saying. That why was there none of it? They were saying that कि हमने अपनी बेटियों को संस्कार नहीं दिए, हमारी बेटियां बहक रही हैं. So this is not a case of kidnapping.
So
one explanation is that these people were they had lured the girl and they were eloping with her. Hence, it is kidnapping. This is one theory.
There is a deep, especially for communities that are living in sensitive, fragile zones. They have cultures which aren't really mainstream. They're used to living in their small little area. They are prone to feeling, insecure, scared, especially when there's any sort of change around them. So I think with tourism, with rapid urbanization, there is this fear among a lot of them that their way of life is kind of dissipating. And you have politicians, and especially BJP in this case, Pushkar Singh Dhami, who have really used this fear and insecurity very viciously and turned it against Muslims, who are about 13% of Uttarakhand's population. So this whole fear of, our way of life is changing. They've turned it around to Muslims and to make it, so they are not responsible for any of the issues. There's no jobs, but it's not the government's fault. I think the youth in Uttarakhand only has 3 options. Either you go to the army, or जिसमें सब clear नहीं होते, government jobs जो सबको मिलते नहीं है, नहीं तो फिर tourism. You literally have nothing else apart from that. So government fails to provide you jobs, fails to provide you security. And then what you do is, when you're fighting for resources and you're fighting for very little that's available, you make them feel like you are fighting for resources in your own land because of this other that has come. And just in case, like what you were talking about, immigration, migrants coming from Bijnor, from plains, Muslims. I mean, if you go to Landor and if you go to a lot of the hill stations in Kumaon, most of these resorts are, they're Punjabi guys. They're people from plains only. It's just that they are not Muslims. So no one's pointing at them and saying, land jihad kiya. But the hill economy anyway is pretty much controlled by outsiders, especially if you look at the tourism industry.
So when one of her sources tipped her about this practice, he is a techie, so he chanced upon this group in Telegram and he tipped her. Then it was her investigation. She gave so many numbers. We have tried almost every one of us. At first, we did it internally. All of our numbers were given and all the data were correct when we verified. Then we started to give VIP numbers. So in our first story, actually, we have checked the Kerala Health Minister, Kerala opposition leader, and a few of Kerala bureaucrats only. So we had the number with us only of Kerala leaders at that time. So we checked, and all of them gave us very credible results.
Wow.
It was when we published the story. So our first story was actually we were carrying the data of. Obviously, we have masked the screenshot and all, but we told in the story that the data of our health minister Veena George, the data of our opposition leader V.D. Sadeshan, and the data of so many of our colleagues and friends all were accessed through this board. So this was our first story. On the same day, we did a second story also. And in the second story, what we did was we first checked the number of R.S. Sharma, the Ram Sevak Sharma, who was the chairman of National Health Authority and the chairman of the CoWIN Hyper Committee. So he was the one who defended vehemently. He was defending
CoWIN app.
In such a manner that the CoWIN and Aadhaar, everything is very safe, nothing to worry. Whenever there is some allegations came, he was the one who tweeted very supportingly of the systems. So we decided to check R.S. Sharma. So the result was very interesting. R.S. Sharma, his wife and his daughter, 3 persons were enrolled using his number. And we found out that he enrolled using his passport number. His daughter also enrolled using her passport number, while his wife was enrolled using her Aadhaar number. All the details we got, their date of birth, where they got vaccinated, all these things we got.
Rajiv Chandrasekhar said CoWIN app wasn't breached. This was an earlier leak, although he didn't specify which leak he's talking about because there have been many. But have you gotten any idea about this?
Well, I should tell you what we understood. So this argument was there. Only the year of birth is recorded. Actually, it was only mandatory. You only need to enter your year of birth. The software is designed in such a way that if you enter your year of birth, it is 1980, say, it will automatically register as 01/01/1980.
Okay.
But if you give the real date of birth, it will be registered as that way. So when we checked the data, we got both types of data. In so many people's case, the data was recorded as 01/01, the corresponding year. So it is in the DDMMYY format.
Yeah.
So when you only, there was a provision for entering only YY, the other was automatically fitting in. So that was devised in such a way that the queues were long and they wanted to reduce the waiting time at that time. But in later cases, when there were no queues and all, when you go to a private hospital and enter, the staff there naturally entered your real date of birth using this provision. And in such cases, we could get the real date of birth also. We had both types of data. The data of only year and that data of entire date of birth.
All of you listening in, the Chhota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the Newslaundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to Newslaundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoro. Not to brag or anything, but Newslaundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All Newslaundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.